His heart is racing, feels the sting with every cheer. He's not alone, he knows the fight is all his own. He'll rise above, he won't back down. A lion spirit claim the crown. With fists up period on the night, through every stone he finds his might. The crowd unites, the voices loud, the fights of glory makes him proud.
Hi, everybody. So, as today was mentioned before, and all the goddamn annoying Instagram ads, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to be talking about parody films. I'm not talking about my favorite films. It's not a list show. It's just like, have we gone too far? For me, parody films started with The Naked Gun. And I'm going to talk about some Mel Brooks stuff as well as The Naked Gun, and then we'll get into the later stuff. Not another movie, not another blah, blah, blah. Instead. So, here we go. Hope everybody can hear me okay. The mic setup is fucking, there we are. Mr. Kitty, how you doing? So, prepare for slides. Do. Dun. Get the slides so I can put the slides up. And I knew I forgot something. There we go. Okay. What's that? HGC, what's going on? Web says you have to go to the store right now, so I was grabbing keys. That makes sense. Oh, Kaiju, I want to hear what your first movie was. Mine was Spaceballs. So, yeah. And I was like 8 or 9. I shouldn't have watched that. So, all right. So let's just jump to the goddamn. So Spaceballs. Everybody remembers Spaceballs, and it was, it poked fun at Star Trek, Star Wars, and whatever other fucking science fiction there was, and it was great. And we all got a good laugh out of it. Like HGC, just hi guys. I'm just briefly clicking on chats. You're all here. Thank you very much for showing up. Oh well, Chad's here, so fuck it. Start over. But Spaceballs was the first parody film I ever saw, and I was like, this is fucking... was it fucking... Kaiju was a Blazing Saddles. It's okay. Blazing Saddles is hilarious. You can talk about Blazing Saddles. That's a fine film. And, Mel Brooks had some, doozies out there, Spaceballs, the Young Frankenstein is my favorite Mel Brooks movie, and I didn't put a fucking picture of a slide on it, so... Ooh. Hi, Chad. Frank, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. There he is. If there's one person alive that can make fun of World War II Germans and get away with it and everybody be on board, it's Mel fucking Brooks. Watch The Producers. You'll know what I'm talking about. Because holy shit. So Spaceballs, it touched on everything. It touched on science fiction, action, Star Wars, and Star Trek, and everybody had a good time because, at that point in society, we're like, this is funny as hell because we can still laugh at ourselves. Fred, what's up, man? Next slide! And then The Naked Gun happened, and that was already a parody TV show of the Police Squad, right? And Police Squad was hilarious. I didn't see Police Squad until after I saw The Naked Gun, but the straight man routine, just doing all the wacky and zany shit. The music video in the middle of the movie about there's got to be some, whatever the song was. It's just, God damn it. Or when he parks the car, the airbags all go off, and he's out of the car, and he watches it go down, and he starts opening fire. Who shot him? So, just a good movie. Robin Hood Men in Tights. And this is going to be controversial. This is when they started to tone it down a little bit. Not as obvious, because it was still, they were still making fun of everything and every Robin Hood movie at the time. And holy shit, Prince of Thieves was a huge thing. It was Kevin Costner being Kevin Costner. Movie's still badass, though. Sorry. And just all of those things wrapped up into one and made this perfect thing happen. There's a throwback to Excalibur with Patrick Stewart showing up. all those good things, right? The Don DeLuise cameo in Men in Tights is comedic gold. 100% HGC. Don DeLuise is an amazing human being, and I love the fact that he was in that. But yes, that's awesome, and I love it. And this is the last little. Well, we've got 3 more slides after this, and this is where the decline starts for me. So the first time I saw Scary, exactly, Cannonball Run, those are perfect comedies. So Scary Movie. It was funny, and I was like, oh yeah, it reminds me of like fucking Airplane. I didn't put Airplane up. I am a horrible human being. But no, Airplane. Airplane was a great goddamn movie. Airplane and Johnny Dangerously. The Kentucky Fried Chicken does count. All of these are great parody movies. But when we hit a certain point in our society, we stopped being able to laugh at ourselves. And if you did, you were considered wrong. Right? Hey, what's up, Stan? So, like, you'd fucking think that we knew how to laugh at ourselves, but we had to stop that, and now we get criticized for it. But if we're watching a parody movie, it's okay. So does that mean that we all need that release? Yeah. Nice. Superhero, not a superhero movie, is just like, this was when X-Men and Spider-Man were huge, and like Batman Begins was beginning, and just, it was like hammering home on like every superhero trope and why it was funny. And it had Liam Neeson in it, so not Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen. Jesus Christ, I'm tired. But like, you started to see the decline in the humor there. They started taking less risks and started just being safe with their humor. And it was like, yeah, okay. And it didn't hit as well as the other ones did. And then to put a nail in the coffin, this is what killed parody films for me. And I don't know if it killed anybody else for other parody films or what, but like, this is what did them in for me. I watched this and I went, this isn't funny. It's not even a good parody. And if other people enjoy this, that's great. But I'm just saying, this is where it stopped for me. So I'm just going to close that out. Slideshow is over. So what are some of your favorite parody movies? You've already listed some of them. I can't believe the fact that I forgot to list Airplane and Airplane 2. But there's that new Liam Neeson Naked Gun movie coming out, and that brought me some hope. That brought me like a lot of hope that the genre is not. Is it a genre of film? It's a genre of film, isn't it? That brought back a little bit of hope for me for comedy and humor and everything else. Like, it's okay to make fun of yourself. Not another date movie. Like, we all do lots of silly things, and I love it. Take my Scary Movie 1 was I think that's what it was, Fred. Yeah. And when we talk about empathy and kindness towards others, us too. Thanks, Jed. And I don't know where I'm going with that. Doesn't matter. But parodies used to be okay to like laugh at because as a society we could laugh at ourselves. But if we do that now, we just can't anymore. I never saw Haunted House 1 or 2. But if you're recommending it, Mendoza, I'll give it a look. Spaceballs is one of the best. There you go. Oh, and Hot Shots. I forgot about Hot Shots. Saturday the 14th is goddamn hilarious, Chad. Of course I've seen it. But parody films have always been a good, strong, like, lasting thing in our movies. And Top Secret, yeah, I mean, they've always been part of us, right? And like, I think as like a group of people or a humanity of people, a species, we've learned to stop laughing at ourselves and just we take things way too seriously, right? Like there's being cruel, and then there's being funny about normal things that we all do and taking small jabs at that, right? And 21 Jump Street was a good parody, true. There's that. But, you know, I gotta ask, when did we stop being able to laugh at ourselves and start yeah. And Police Academy. Well, I mean, I'm not calling that a parody, Fred. Those are comedies. I'm talking like Spaceballs, Mel Brooks films, things like that. The two different things. Like Police Academy was a legit movie about going to the police academy. It was just a comedy. I mean, so there's that to consider as well, and just to remember is that like comedies are different, but parody films are. They did something in our world that made us like take things a little less than funny. So, in my mind, and I know I'm probably gonna catch some shit for this, Blazing Saddles told us how stupid racism was by making fun of it, and like I think that helped out in that fight, in that struggle, in that situation, because we watched how all of that change a little bit. We all became a little bit more aware of it, as it were. But it is stupid to be that racist about anything, for that matter. And yeah, so PCU, that's another good movie. It's not a parody, but you're right about it. They had social commentary on how being PC is ruining the world, but I think being PC is okay, but I think it's also okay to have that gentle poke every once in a while to be like, you're not as fucking funny as you think you are. You're not as serious as you think you are about this. This is fucking comedy. You're supposed to be able to laugh at yourself. And if we can't laugh at ourselves, we get too fucking roped in with everything, and it just sucks, man. Like, it sucks. Like, cue the man who fucked the Sasquatch here, but I mean, it's really not a good time, and I think that we're losing that as a group of people, and that sucks, man. It sucks. I think that we've lost the ability to laugh at ourselves over things that are laughable. You know, like, don't get me wrong, there's polite conversation comedy, and there's not polite conversation comedy. That's all I'm gonna say. And also, speaking of horror and comedy movies, if you haven't yet, go rent Retro Freaks on Amazon. I think a lot of every movie decision. Pause if you read. Retro Freaks is a horror comedy. It'll touch both those buttons. Hooray! All right. So, and Retro Freaks is not a parody. It's a horror comedy. There are funny moments and scary moments. And both parts are excellent. Regardless, parody films. I think if we lose that art, we lose part of ourselves. And if we lose part of ourselves, then what the fuck is the point of even having art anymore? If art is subjective and art is subjected to criticism, ridicule, and getting rid of. Fuck, we're still getting rid of books. We're banning books still. And that to me tells me that we haven't grown as much as we think that we have in our own little world. We still have those prejudices in our head, and we still have those speed bumps to not be able to pick up from the past and move forward with that. That's why I think parody films, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, yeah. Walk Hard was a good parody film. That being said, there is that though. Like, if we stop doing parody films, does that mean that we're no longer able to not take ourselves so seriously all the time? Every once in a while, we'll get a parody film that's a banger. Walk Hard is a good example, right? The last one we had that was fucking just terrible was that Sherlock Holmes. Exactly, Jeff. Oh, Justin Booth. That's a horror comedy. To me, it's a horror comedy. It's goddamn hilarious and it's scary. Um, Too many ums. I think that HGC is right, and I think that that's a way that we could be going for entertainment purposes if certain voices are louder than others. And I think that if it's not that, it'll start being propaganda film. Whether it be about this or that, it will be a propaganda film. Art is supposed to be able to give us that message without hammering it into us. Parody films have done that very well. And I think we're losing that ability to tell a good parody. And we are going to see when it comes to the new Naked Gun movie. I think we're going to see how that goes. And I think it's like any good story, it has to have a moral, right? A moral is part of the story. Hold on a second, I have to be mean to somebody. But that being said, we have to have that morality or that moral in the story. I don't know if we're smart enough. Yeah. Yeah, we are. You know, art is the diminishing form of expressionism these days, where a lot of people need it hammered into them or explained to them without watching a story and getting the point of the story. But again, though, once you watch a story or read a story, you get something different from that. And that's always been the case with parody films, is that that's never the case. Everyone gets the same idea from that story, that it's a goddamn hilarious moment. It's poking fun at what every trope we do have and why it shouldn't be taken so seriously. And all the dastardly things that we do, how stupid they are. So it's, and then like it's sad to see the backslide so strong. And I don't care who's in charge of what. There's always been that backslide to our society and as Americans in general. But I think that's why parody films are important. I think that's why it's super important. Because if we don't laugh at ourselves, then what's the point? It's Julius Caesar used to have a guy following him around telling him he's not a god, you're not a god, you're not a god. And I think that people in general need that. And I think in a modern situation, that's what the parody film was. To remind us that we're not all serious, that everything is fleeting in this moment, and that we shouldn't be worshipped as this, and we shouldn't go about as that. And if we lose those parody films, and if we lose that ability to do that specific art, yeah. You know, it's a great fresh script? Retro Freaks. And it's sad. It's sad to see it all to come crashing down, because like when I was a kid, I always knew that I wanted to do something in this business. At the time, I thought it was acting. That didn't pan out. Stand-up comedy only lasted about 2 years. And like, that. So just rough, right? Just rough all around. And like when you try to get into that business today, it is hard as hell. And it all goes back to the fact that we have to do things a way that pleases everyone as opposed to pleasing a majority of people. I don't know what that means. Um, that being said, in the comments below, after all this is over, especially Replay Squad, tell me your favorite parody film. Tell me your favorite whatever. and go from there. And just be happy about it. Share your opinion on it. Am I looking too far into this? Am I thinking that parodies are too important when they're not that important at all? Am I overselling it? Let me know. So there's that. Besides that, you have your choice of viewing things to watch tonight. You've got Yojo Jerk in 9 minutes. You've got Punk with Toys as he interviews somebody tonight. I don't remember who he's interviewing, so that makes me a bad person. And then after Yojo Jerk, you've got the fellas from Figure It Out. I think they have Woody on tonight, so that'll be a good episode. Woody's good people. Not that Jason and Michael aren't good people, just it'll be a good show. It's always cool to see Woody. Though I am going to see how long it takes to get him through Came From the Collection, or Did You Get Anything New? Because if you know Woody, he buys wholesale. So there's that. Something to consider. So that's the show. It doesn't go long. I bring up a subject. Sometimes you tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Sometimes I catch the comments while we're talking. And that's that. That's how silly this show is. It's 20 minutes of this. It's basically what grinds my gears with extra steps. Yeah, it was, Justin. It really was. Anyway, though, thank you all for coming and watching. I appreciate it. Thank you, Shane, for modding. The best mod in the business, even if you did have to go to the store. HGC, thanks for two-timing us with Max. Max is still going, so you might want to catch him for the last 8 minutes or so. Either or, tell him that I sent you, or don't. It doesn't do anything. It just, yeah, Jeff and I are talking. Anyway, that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. I'm probably going to play video games. So, yeah, I will talk to you all later. Have a wonderful time. And I got to get my thing.
When Chaparino steps into the ring, his heart is racing, feels his sting with every cheer. He's not alone, he knows the fight is all his own. He'll rise above, he won't back down. A lion spirit claim the crown. With fists up period on the night, through every stony fight is what the crowd ignites. The voices loud, the fights are glory makes him proud.